All right, welcome back to the channel. So it appears that the Jamal Charlo versus Jamel Charlo doubleheader pay-per-view has had an effect on Dazn, who are going to air a knockoff doubleheader that manages to disrespect Demetrius Andrade worse than they already have. It's amazing. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So I guess imitation is the best form of flattery. What did I say? Is imitation is a form of flattery? Whatever it is. That's what. Anyway, that's something what people always say when they bite people's stuff, right? Yeah, imitation. It's a form of flattery. Nah, you're stealing people's stuff. But whatever, whatever. Dazn has announced that Demetrius Andrade and Daniel Jacobs will be fighting on the same card. And what a absolute great fight that would be, if they were actually fighting each other. But they're not fighting each other. Daniel Jacobs is fighting guy number one, and Boo Boo Andrade is fighting guy number two. So while on the outside, you were going to be able to look and see Daniel Jacobs, one of the top Black American fighters, and he is very good fighter. Demetrius Andrade, also one of the best fighters in the world, great fighter, in a doubleheader on Dazn. That should feel something like the Jamal Charlo, Jamel Charlo, right? Seems similar, except not even close, because both of these fights are trash. And neither one of them are a title fight. But let's go into what is so interesting about this card. Demetrius Andrade, please get out of the zone. I don't expect Demetrius Andrade to do what's right, to do anything that I think would be reasonable, because if he was that type of person, he wouldn't be at the zone. But listen to what Dazn is doing to Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade is going to be fighting in a non-title fight. This is the WBO champion. The WBO middleweight champion is going to be fighting on the undercard of a Daniel Jacobs fight. The undercard, because Daniel Jacobs, from what I understand, is the main event. So not only, like, Demetrius Andrade is the type of talent that if everything was right in the world, he would be featured as a world champion on his own card, like they did in the card that he had in his own hometown. I can't remember what the name of the stadium is over there. It's some funny number. It's like the Uber, like the Uber stadium, whatever it is over there in where he's from, that he fought in, that he filled up, and everybody was like, yeah, what a great fight, dog. They just can't seem to do that again for him. So Demetrius Andrade, one of the first fighters to ever sign with Dazn, because he was one of the first guys into Dazn. Not only has he not been able to get a fight with Canelo Alvarez, he has not been able to get a fight with Gennady Golovkin. He has not been able to get a fight with Jamal Charlo. He has not even been able to get a fight with Daniel Jacobs. And now he's going to be in a non-title fight on the undercard of a Daniel Jacobs fight. Now, Daniel Jacobs, on the other hand, just to make sure we give credit where credit is due, Daniel Jacobs, Dazn has been very, very good to Daniel Jacobs. Very, very good to Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs has gotten a fight with Gennady Golovkin, didn't he? I do believe that was on Dazn. Was that could have been in that? Actually, you know what? No. That could have been in HBO. I think that was HBO. So he already got that fight. Gennady Golovkin he got with HBO. However, he got the Canelo fight and the Sergey Derevyanchenko fight, and the fight with the illustrative, this superstar, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And now he's being treated so well by Dazn that he is actually going to be the featured fight over Demetrius Andrade. But yet he doesn't have to fight Demetrius Andrade. But I wouldn't be surprised if that is the ultimate goal that the Dazn has for Boo Boo. Hey, Boo Boo, you keep being patient. You keep sitting there. I know this isn't even a non-title fight. We can't even give you anybody good enough where they're going to sanction the fee, where they're going to sanction the fight. The WBO is not going to take this guy. That's how whack the fight's going to be. That the WBO won't even let that guy fight for the belt. Note, however, that Yildirim more than good enough for the WBC to let Canelo Alvarez fight for it at 168 pounds. Man, sometimes boxing really can be really can be a joke. But yeah, I think maybe what they're trying to do is lean towards Demetrius Andrade fighting Daniel Jacobs. And so that's your big prize there, Demetrius Andrade. Thank you for bringing your skill. Thank you for bringing your talent over here to the Dazn. Thank you for being the first person to sign here. I'm sorry you've been here almost 2 years and we still haven't given you a decent fight. And looks like with the, all this stuff going on, we're not going to get you a decent fight anytime soon. But hey, let me throw some scraps at you real quick. How about an undercard, non-title fight on the undercard of Danny Jacobs' fight? How in the world did that conversation go? So, look, do not tell me the Demetrius Andrade and Dazn have ever been trying to make a fight with Jermall Charlo, okay? Because they won't give this guy a fight with even a halfway decent guy over on Dazn. I mean, couldn't you dig up? Who is Gabriel Rosado supposed to be fighting? Gabriel Rosado is supposed to be having a fight with somebody that is around that weight class, right? No. Gabriel Rosado is actually down there at 100 and but couldn't you at least give the guy a fight at 160 against somebody that has an opportunity, so where you can get a championship fee for it? Couldn't find like an Austin Trout to move up from 154 or somebody like that to get to Demetrius Andrade? Is it that shallow over there at the Dazn for Demetrius Andrade? It's just, come on. Now, look, my personal opinion is this. Eventually, we're going to get the fights that we want to see with Demetrius Andrade because at a certain point in time, Demetrius Andrade is not going to have, any choice whatsoever but to go and head where the other guys, your guys will actually fight him. If Demetrius Andrade was not with Dazn, if he had made the decision to go over and fight with the PBC, what would he have lost, right? And that's the argument that people would said about Demetrius Andrade and Dazn. It's like, that's where all the welterweights are. You remember? That's where all the middleweights are. Do you remember that when Eddie Hearn would say that? Like, where Charlo, he has no choice. He has to sign with us. He's either going to have to sign with us or he's not going to have anywhere to go. Because we've got all the middleweights, right? We've got Gennady Golovkin. We've got Canelo. We've got Demetrius Andrade. But yet, you can't get a single solitary decent fight for Demetrius Andrade. What has he gained by fighting Dazn other than 3 or 4 easy fights? If he was over there at the PBC, at least at 160 pounds, you saw they worked over a situation to get the Derevyanchenko fight. Demetrius Andrade can't. They're not even getting Demetrius Andrade the level of fight of a Sergey Derevyanchenko. And for all the people that are saying, "Oh yeah, we've made these offers to Jermall Charlo for that," man, come on, man. If they're not willing to fork up the money for a fight between Daniel Jacobs and Demetrius Andrade, I mean, why not just have those two fight? They're on the same. If they're gonna fight on the same night on the same card, and you're gonna pay them, why don't you pay them the same amount of money to fight each other? So at least if Demetrius Andrade wins the fight against against Daniel Jacobs, then Demetrius Andrade has a legitimate win on his plate. But he doesn't get anything out of this except for people going to make videos like I'm making it, wondering like, dude, how much disrespect do you have for the guy when you can't even get him a championship fight? It's not even that you can't get him a top level championship fight. Dazn wasn't even able to get him a championship fight going around. So Nah, man, I'm not really trying. I'm not believing it, man. You guys can, with this move, you guys can save all of that. What Jamal Charlo or Jamel Charlo won't do around Demetrius Andrade, man. Demetrius Andrade is just consistently made choices in his career that always result in him fighting low-level competition and not coming anywhere near the danger. But at the same time, you know, it's hard to put the blame fully on Demetrius Andrade when it's clear the network itself doesn't want it, because Demetrius Andrade should have had a shot at Undisputed against Canelo Alvarez, but DAZN explicitly said that they didn't want to give him the fight. But you want to give him a fight with Jamal Charlo. Sure you do. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think. And with that, I'm out. Peace.